Furkan, shall I just get us started on a rolling start?
Yes, please.
Okay, fantastic. Sean, do you mind if I pull up your LinkedIn to
absolutely go for it.
Okay, all right, here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to the All Hands today. I'll be essentially conducting the interview that we normally do with the inspirational speaker, but since we're a little bit, let's say we don't have our proper form right now, I'll just pull up Sean's LinkedIn. Okay, so Sean is an entrepreneur, and he's decided to join an early AI startup called agentops.ai. Sean and I met at a hackathon in San Francisco a few weeks back, and we got to speaking pretty much all night on AI agent stuff. So anyhow, Sean, I have a few questions for you. So looking a little bit at your background, so you seem pretty well educated. You have a bachelor's degree and also a master's degree in computer science here. How did you enter the world of AI? What was your first sort of moment where you thought, all right, I'm going to get into and be seduced by AI?
All right, so going a little bit further back, I actually got my undergrad in business. I transitioned to computer science, yeah. So that's why you see that BBA is Bachelor's of Business Administration. Yeah, but I've been coding since I was in middle school. A friend of mine was like, oh, if you write these things into Notepad, save the file under a different extension, then you run it, you get a web page. And then like, oh, if you do this other thing to it, now you have a program. So that's where it all started.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like you were groomed by the ability to do magical things with code.
So it was groomed very much by San Francisco itself. This is the environment that you're in. I talked to people from elsewhere, and they're all like, wow, this is how you got started? Because here in SF, like so many of my friends, their parents do computer science or IT or some tech-related job. So it is very much, I walk into this class one day and someone has C++ for Dummies on their desk and they're reading it. So that is just the environment that SF tends to be.
I know that, yeah, like some of the O'Reilly books and such, you see those being passed around. I saw Venice smile a little bit on that. There's some relatable probably background between our engineers. All right, so going from, let's say, an environment where you're seeing a lot of people and they have, let's say, parents who are in computer science, they have backgrounds in computer science. What sort of made you decide to pursue the startup path? Because you've been working at Amazon as a software development engineer intern, and you worked also as a member of senior staff, but then you became a co-founder. What sort of was the emotional experience in that decision process?
I think this is, I don't know how often this happens, but I bet it happens quite a bit.
Okay.
So I actually got laid off from my job at Delphix.
Congratulations! Best thing that could ever happen.
I was going to a lot of SF events, like startup events, through Alex. He was my college roommate, and so Alex, by the way, is the CEO of AgentOps. He was my college roommate, and he's who pulled me into AgentOps. So we didn't form AgentOps at the very start. I was like, oh, I just got laid off. Like, do you need any help with anything? I could help you. I have some spare time. And he pulled me to various events, and people are all like in the startup world in SF, and people are like, I tell people, oh, I just got like laid off, and people get congratulations. You now have time to pursue entrepreneurship.
Excellent. Okay.
I was still hoping to get a job at like Google or a big tech company, but Alex boiled the frog on me. He would show up to my door and say, hey, I need help with this thing, this big sprint this week. And then I'd be, okay, sure, I'll put off, writing my resume until next week. Next week rolls along, he comes with something else. And next thing I know, I have some paper in front of me that says, sign here, get 33% of this company we're building.
That's hilarious. For those, maybe you can explain your analogy about boiling the frog, because I think that's actually interesting.
Okay, that might be an English thing where basically this is probably debunked, but basically the idea is if you put a frog in water, if you put it in the boiling water, it'll jump out. But if you slowly raise the temperature of the water, the frog will stay put and eventually get boiled.
That's habits, right? So would you say that Alex is a pretty good negotiator and persuader then in that particular case? He got you to reconsider.
Absolutely. He has been in this entrepreneurship game for a while, and he's been working on a lot of these skills.
Oh, wow.
He, in fact, if yeah, so okay, some people think that that means CEO Cerebral Valley, but he actually came up with the name Cerebral Valley. Their actual CEO and him are very good friends, and he was there at the very beginning of that when it was called like Last Week in AI. And that's when he was like, you need to rename this to Cerebral Valley. They did. And Cerebral Valley has been this very big AI founders community in San Francisco.
That's very impressive that Alex is essentially at the forefront of developing an AI community in San Francisco, which is at the forefront of AI in the world. So perhaps later everybody will go back and be like, whoa, you guys are like Wozniak and Jobs, yeah? Starting the homebrew computer club in that sense, yeah?
I hope so. We'll see what happens.
Excellent. So why leave Cerebral Valley? Why did Alex and you decide that starting this agent ops would be a better continuation of your careers than remaining like as community managers for this particular endeavor here?
So Alex was never actually like a formal member, like actual member of Cerebral Valley. He was good friends with Ivan and the rest of the team there.
I got it. Okay, got it.
So
this is great. I've been trying to actually get some of my team to come out to San Francisco to kind of check out all these events. You guys are, Cerebral Valley is doing amazing work. So almost every day of the week, there are some really heavy hitting AI events that is open to developers, open to founders, open to entrepreneurs who are curious and exploring. And it's probably the de facto best list. That and Luma are probably where you can find everything that you need to find in order to be an active and contributing participant in the AI community. So
yeah,
really,
there's
really
a lot going on. Yeah,
definitely incredible.
Like I just came from a hackathon today. Like I just got back to the office from the hackathon.
Which one? Which hackathon did you go to?
I don't know its name. It's at Digital Garage, the same place we met though.
Oh, okay. Okay, fantastic. Hey, I met Andrew Karpathy.
Oh, nice. I don't. So okay, wait. Just to give everybody an idea of my personality, I actually don't go to too many of these events personally. That's more Alex and my other co-founders' jobs to go out. The one time I go out, I go and meet Jing, and it's like fantastic. But I don't go out that often. So some people, you drop some names, I might not know who you're talking about.
Okay, it's only the guy who is a founding member of OpenAI, right? So he's like, built ChatGPT. Okay, fair enough. Let's move on. So as, let's say now, a co-founder, what are some of the things that you feel are quite different than working as an employee or as, let's say, a non-founding member of an organization? I know you're over there in your VC's office quite late, which is a nice office, by the way, but what other things are sort of unexpected in this transition from, let's say, going from an employee to a founder?
I'm not sure if it's unexpected, but basically, I think the big difference is the amount of agency I have in directing the direction of this company.
Correct.
Back in when I was at Amazon, I'd be told, hey, build this feature, and I'd go build that feature. Now I do a lot more product management in a way where I go, okay, here I'm talking to users. I talk to users. I think, okay, these are the things we can do most easily. These are the things that produce the most value. I look at the Venn diagram and find the things I want to work on. Also, I'm looking at my team and I say, oh, this person is really good with these things. I will then give that person that task to work on. So there's a lot more agency here.
That's incredible. Let's talk about this idea of users. How important is it to understand, let's say, what users need before you start building? Like you're balancing sort of one part being an engineer and another part being, let's say, trying to fit the product to the market. What sort of wisdom have you discovered in this process?
So there's a little bit of both. Sometimes you have to really, I'm talking to a user and he's like, oh, based on like, I'm watching him going through a page and he's like, oh, like this thing doesn't quite make sense. And I go, realize it's not actually that the page doesn't have the right elements. It's just at the very bottom or something else.
Okay.
Do you want me to share my screen and like show the actual application? The actual
Please do. Okay, so while Sean shares his screen, I'm going to retract and I'll give a little heads up. So what Sean and Alex's startup do is that they create AI agents for people who don't know how to make AI agents, right? But they essentially then support these users with analytics, monitoring, testing. So it really gets somebody who, let's say, maybe doesn't have a data science team or engineers up to speed on getting things to work. And yes, we'd love to see your demo. Please show us.
Okay, so actually, why don't I start from the start here? So we actually don't make the AI agents, but we integrate with like Crew AI or AutoGen, other frameworks, or you might build your own agent, and we provide the analytics and observability piece, as well as some like convenience features as well.
Got it.
So here is an example of a Crew AI demo. This is creating a job posting. So here, this is an agent. We just added 2 lines actually. Import agentops, agentops.init, and we're just going to run this agent. So we've got this thing has like 3 different agents: research analyst, job description writer, review editing specialist.
Okay,
so it's
powerful.
Crew makes it pretty easy for people who are new to this space to write one without specifying too much. You see, like,
what is Crew?
Crew AI is an agent framework. So it is a way to build AI agents without writing nearly as much code as you might have to on your
incredible.
own.
Okay.
So you can see here, this file here is very small. You just do crew.kickoff, and you define a couple of things. And the agents, you define a couple of agents as we mentioned. Here's define some tasks, and then all you do is then run Python main.py.
Okay.
And then it's just going to start running. So in AgentOps, we immediately write, hey, like if you want to see your session, you can click on this link, and it will show up in your browser if you're already logged in.
Okay. So then what can I do with this, and what kind of analytics can we expect to see after we run it?
Let me run this real quick, and then...
Are you running the LLM locally on your device?
This is using OpenAI, but you can run it locally if you wanted to.
Nice. Okay, cool. Oh, now,
so I'm just filling in some stuff.
All right. Okay.
And then so it's going to start running.
Nice.
I got some existing runs I can show you, but I think this might be a little bit instructive in what AgentOps offers, because here you can see this is a lot of information that you're scrolling through in a command line, and you might miss some stuff, right?
Got it.
There's a lot of stuff here that isn't in like your definition files here that you might want to you would want to be able to see.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So I'm actually just going to end this run here.
All right.
And then, pull this up.
Always nerve-wracking doing a live demo.
Demo, yeah. So I made a project here. Okay, so we can see it ran 6,000 tokens. This was actually a fail because I interrupted it. We can see the fail reason, the cost, what errors, the type of errors. And then we can drill down into it. We can see, this was a job posting for Crew AI. It ended because I canceled it. It cost 3 cents. Here are the Crew AI versions, AgentOps versions, etc.
Okay.
And then also you can also go through and read what was actually sent to all the LLMs. So you said you are a research analyst, and you'll see stuff in here that you didn't actually write, because Crew AI is very beginners friendly. So this is more of a benefit for Crew AI, not necessarily other frameworks like AutoGen. It says, this is very important to use to get your best final answer. Your job depends on it. So this stuff is to make the LM work a little bit better with like the role play stuff. And that's not actually in any of the stuff that you're building into Crew AI. You're not telling Crew AI to say this. Crew AI says this. So if you're trying to find out what's actually being delivered, you won't see that in the command line. You would actually have to use AgentOps to see this.
Okay, got it. So Sean, in a nutshell, can we say that what this particular AgentOps is doing is essentially, is it like Tableau for LLM? So you're able now to observe, see, like Google Analytics for an LLM, in the way that like you're allowing visibility, observability, analysis, and deeper understanding on how to fine tune an LLM.
not necessarily fine tuning the LLM, but building your application around the LLM.
Got it. Okay, interesting. And you have a waterfall chart here too as well. What does that show?
So this shows you exactly what happened play by play, or step by step. So we started with an LLM call, and then decided, oh, I need to search a specific website, and then you can read the prompt here as well. And then I actually didn't, I on purpose didn't put an API key for the Google Search API that it was supposed to then call. And then now we have this error show up, and you can see the stack trace.
Okay, all right. Bit of a debugger there then, yeah? Okay.
So yeah,
cool.
Exactly. And then you can just see play by play. And then I can go, let me see if I got some other runs that I can show you. Similar runs.
I take it, in addition to being a co-founder, it does sound like you are actually a lead engineer as well, Sean?
That is probably my primary day-to-day job. As I said earlier, I don't go out to these events. I decided the most value I can add right now to this organization is by just staying at the office and grinding out code. So what you're seeing here, we started roughly last July. I built most of this on my own. We hired 2 engineers 3 months ago.
Okay. Actually, that's a good question, Sean. What do the new engineers do in addition to your work, and how did you frame the job description and the role based on what you could discover in terms of that's where I need engineering talent?
So we just needed more people working on all aspects of this project. They are very much, we hired very senior people who I can say, we can discuss together, oh, what should we work on? So it's very much like a group project from school. I don't know how it works in the Philippines, but to me, it's like a college, group project. Or Indonesia, I'm sorry, class project. And so it's very collaborative, and that's how it feels right now. We got them through the AI community here in SF. So people we've met. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing unless there's something else you would like to see here.
No, I think that's cool. So give us kind of a rundown of what like a typical day. I mean, obviously we're kind of both still at the office, but I'm starting my day, but you probably are on the tail end of your day. Tell us like what a typical day is like in terms of your experience as a founder in San Francisco, living through like the AI adventure right now, or if there is an AI adventure at all.
My personal experience is probably very different from Alex's experience. I show up like 10 o'clock, and then I work until I have my 2 engineers with me here all the time. We discuss, here's what we should be working on, and then we dive into it. We'll leave maybe like 8 o'clock in the evening. And then, but for like Alex, he's on meetings all the time. He's basically on meetings all day. He's going to various events. He's posting on Twitter. He has like 20,000 Twitter followers, so anything he posts to Twitter is very effective.
I see that. I do follow Alex, and he's punching above his weight category for sure. Okay. Well, Sean, that's pretty much the time. So thank you today for being our inspirational speaker. Let me turn it to the floor. Does anybody have a particular question that they would like to ask Sean as a technical co-founder for one of San Francisco's most inspirational, to be inspirational AI companies? Vidi, over to you, sir. Vidi is our VP of Engineering, Sean, and go ahead, Vidi.
Right. Hi, Sean. My name is Vidi. I'm the VP of Engineering in Bukit Vista. I'm also quite interested in AI and know a little bit about AI and so on and so forth. But what I want to ask is more on the how do you kind of like manage expectations of probably non-technical users, especially environment, and like a time where people always think that AI is made easy, or do you yourself think that AI is easy right now?
So I guess for our product, Agent Ops, there's our target audience are developers.
Yes.
So there are not really any non-technical users at the moment. Although someone did say, hey, can we hide certain things from non-technical users? So that might be a feature coming up. In terms of whether AI is easy, do you mean easy to use, or does it make life as a developer easier?
Probably the practical aspect of AI, like when trying to translate AI into something that non-technical people can use?
I would say that is very much it's very similar to how it was pre-AI. We just got a new tool that can take garbage. So before we had garbage in, garbage out. Now we can have something garbage-like coming in, and we can have usable data coming out. It's not perfect. There are challenges with it where it's not 100%. It's not that repeatable or reliable, but you can make something very good come out of that. So it's another tool in the toolbox. That's the way I see it. In terms of whether like what it takes to build like the prompt engineer and all that, I actually don't do that much because I don't actually build agents myself.
I see. Okay, right. That's all for me. Thank you very much, Sean.
Okay. Thank you, Vidi, for your question. All right. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to ask Sean? Going once. Oh, yes, Furkan. Okay. Furkan, over to you, sir.
I was wondering if you have any how you said that you have two engineers with you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think is the best way to lead the engineers team to lead the engineers team in your view?
Oh, yeah. Supervision and management. Okay.
So in my case, it might be very different from every other organization I've worked with so far, is in that everyone here is very senior and have their own a lot of ideas, and that's why we wanted them in the first place. Because our organization is so small, it's not so much that I'm managing them; it's more I'm the final say in like maybe like the direction we want to go, but pretty much it's very group collaborative effort on everything. There is some aspects where I might go, okay, Howard, you like to grab you might have certain things okay, so like you might go like, oh, like I was just gonna say yes to everything, but I might go, actually I want you working on this because I see how you like to work, and try to adapt to everybody. But it's in a small organization, it's so personalized. I wouldn't say anything really applies elsewhere, if that makes sense.
And Sean, if I could follow up with a question. So are you hiring people who are more senior than yourself in engineering?
I'm not sure if they're more senior than me, but they're all they all know they're not 2 years out of college. They have a lot of experience under their belt. They've built previous things. They've worked elsewhere.
Got it.
So when we talk, we don't have to talk in a very high context way. We can say, oh, I want this feature. If you like, can you go build that? And this person can go, okay, yeah, I'll build that. And then I expect this person to then be able to figure out, okay, here are the I don't know how to build this 100%, but I can go through the steps and like make assumptions on what should be built, and then come back when we discuss as a group. Whereas if I were to do a junior engineer, I'd say, oh, I need you to take steps 1, 2, 3 exactly, and then they'll come back with questions along every step.
See, okay, so more independence and such. What, if I quickly can ask, what sort did you offer to entice them to join Agent Ops?
So they wanted to be part of the AI community, I think. Alex is a very good recruiter. We had a trip to Mexico where we said, hey, come on over. Like, if you do some work with us, 2 hours a day, we'll cover your rent. They came over. They had a good time. We vibed together. We enjoyed each other's company, and they said, this I like working here.
Okay,
I like
cool.
working with you guys.
You boiled some more frogs, it seems.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very, very. That's inspirational. I really like that. Okay. We have time for one more question. Who would like to be the final question giver? I guess in this case, anybody? Anybody have a nice juicy question for Sean, or a? Yes. Okay. Rifki, step up, Rifki.
Yeah, hello, Sean. My name is Rifki. I'm an AI engineer specialist in Bukit Vista. So I want to ask questions about, we all know that AI is now quite mature enough to be adapted in production stage. so that we can evaluate and monitor the quality of the answer of the prompt itself. But you know that after we evaluate and monitor it, we have to improve the quality to get more desired answer or response. So, do you have any other features in your company that brings out an improvement in AI itself instead of evaluation or monitoring? I think that's all.
Excellent.
That's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for you. We have some tools where we try to find like repeat thoughts where like if your agent starts cycling or things like that. But that's very much, if you have some ideas, I would actually love to hear it so we can build it into the product.
Okay.
It's something like we it's on our mind as something we should build, but we don't have that, we don't have the resources to go there yet, and we don't have necessarily put the thought into it as we might want to have.
Great. And one last thing, Sean, what sort of was your initial impression? And this is going back to Rifki and the engineering team, right? This is, I think, a good sort of recognition, in fact. So what was your impression of the Bukit Vista stack and the way that the technology had been structured and designed here?
I was most impressed. That night was like is one of the coolest things I have ever seen. So I've always had this like theoretical understanding. Okay, like the AI is going to be in everything, in a lot of things we do, but how exactly that might look was very much up in the air in terms of like, oh, like how like right now a lot of companies or people are thinking of is like, oh, we tack AI onto this thing or we tack AI onto something else. But how do you have an organization that's like very AI native or AI first, if you want to call it that? Like, what would that look like? And so when I saw what you have built, and what and Jing was in the talk, or the discussion he was having, and he was just dropping all these factoids. Like, oh yeah, we did this to get around this. We had these challenges. We did this to overcome those challenges. That was just pure gold. I think you guys are doing something really incredible here, and it's opened my mind to a lot of new stuff, and I would love to learn more from you all.
Definitely. And we'd love to learn more from you too as well, Sean. Listen up, everybody. I think Sean has been an inspirational speaker because oftentimes we work within, we're like, speaking of frog, there's an analogy, I think, in Chinese culture of being a frog in the well. And it's meant to actually give you kind of like an idea. Sometimes you work inside a closed space, but you really don't understand kind of like the significance. But it's sort of like the reverse story here. It's like we've been working sort of isolated in Indonesia as a really small sort of section of the overall economy. And it's been inspirational to speak to Sean and realize that we're actually quite ahead as a company, and we're doing some interesting work that can be even recognized here in San Francisco, which is supposedly leading AI too as well. So thank you, Sean, for coming in and inspiring us with your amazing story today. That's been fantastic. Okay, listen up, everybody. Okay, for the next part, I'm going to go into the vision and mission statement. Sean, if you want to hang out and see what we have, you're free to be our guest. If you've got other things to do, that's good too as well. So I'll take over the screen share and talk about what we need to talk about. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's begin. So vision and mission statement for this particular week. We are in June 25th, 2024. Okay. So every week we got good news, we got bad news. So let's just share what's going on. All right. Hospitality performance. Last week we were at 82.4. This week we're at 80.5. So we've taken a 2-point loss on hospitality. We're still above the limit for what it takes to be Superhost, but it has been declining this particular week, and that's not good. Last all hands, we talked about the revenue goals, and the revenue goals were not on track. The hospitality was stable. New asset under management is not growing fast enough, but we were starting to get a bit better on strategy and strategic thinking, but unable to execute correctly. Now, what's going on this week? All right, so revenue goals are still not on track. So that part isn't as good as it should be. Hospitality is declining. However, we have gained some functionality. We've gained some new AUM, and we've seen that new property partners coming into Bukit Vista is improving and it's rising. And we finally have taken some of the hard work to make some strategically difficult decisions that actually aligns the overall effort of the entire company. Now, the focus is still the same. There's no new discoveries, there's no new directions. Let's focus on these particular goals. The two things that we need to do in order to reach our long-term targets and reach our semester goals are, one, to raise the conversion rate from our meetings to our MOUs. That means more people who actually come and actually meet and decide that they want to have properties managed by Bukit Vista actually do that. They actually complete and they sign an MOU and we become their partner. The second is operational AI integration through effective knowledge management. That's it. That's the only two things the entire company should be focused on at this point. Now, are we strategically correct? Last week, if everybody remembers, the answer was no. Do we look a little bit better now? Yes. It looks a little bit better because we're tackling difficult issues. We have finally identified and acted decisively on the rules that have prevented company goals from being achieved. So we'll give a little chance for some people to speak about that in detail right after this. That part is good. That's doing the hard things that need to be done. As a result, more leadership time now can be spent into developing new partnerships. This is improving. But however, we probably still need to see results from our rescue program, which we've identified as a leading source. Now, there's some good news. There's 2 sales rescues that are essentially scheduled for today. I look forward to seeing the results of the rescue program, add new revenue to where we're doing. So, hospitality automation. I promised that I would get this fixed, but it still hasn't been done yet. We do now have clearer milestones for what we want from hospitality automation, but it is now up to tracking and keeping the people accountable for these milestones. So we'll see how that progresses day by day, week by week towards the semester as it rolls along. Next, this has been a blocking point for the company for a very long time, but I'm happy to say that finally we seem to actually be getting some strategic practice. Now, strategic practice is not easy. It requires making difficult decisions. It requires getting beyond our comfort zone. But as long as we don't make any particular efforts towards strategic practice, we never gain strategic understanding. I'm going to let 2 people later on share their extraordinary sort of progress in getting some strategic practice this week and illustrate what we need to do in order to have the best benefit for the entire company. Now, that being said, my commitment to the entire company is this. I said this last week and I'll say it again. The company really just depends on a few key people to do their job correctly. And so I'm holding their managers and these people accountable to rise up and get the job done correctly. And that is to ensure everybody, that's everybody here, all of you who are listening to my voice right now, to make sure that you guys get what's due to you and your fair chance of getting the bonuses and the achievements that you should expect to see from your hard work. So let's talk about strategic learnings. I really want to double line this because this is very, very critical. We have a lot of smart people here. We have a lot of very educated people here. We have a lot of very capable people here. But oftentimes we get stuck by not doing the hard things that need to get done. And it's because we don't do the hard things that need to get done that we get trapped. So once again, at some point, any plan, any tool, any system is limited by the character and the courage of the people charged with the responsibility of running it. Our best tools need strong leadership with the courage and wisdom to run them. Otherwise, they remain unused, unprofitable, and underutilized. Here's something that we've noticed. If we already have a great strategy, but we keep on moving away from that strategy by adding more plans, adding more complications, pivoting around, then we abandon good strategy because we're unable to do a hard thing. This is another thing we've noticed recently, that I've noticed recently. If you start protecting failing members of your team at the expense of the best members of your team, and the product strategy and the development starts serving the employees who have the hardest time learning and adopting new tech, that is a failing strategy. That is essentially working a lot and committing a lot of efforts towards something that is not going to work because that particular person isn't going to work out. As a leader, as a team manager, as somebody who is watching this with a strategic intent, this needs to be identified and this needs to be spoken about and this needs to be believed. Not believing this, going around this leads to so much waste. It leads to months of zero bonuses, not reaching goals, having these boring discussions in all hands where we're just puzzled by why we have so many people, but we're unable to reach our goals. And that's not good for anybody. Okay, so as a result, the key thing is to realize that if you want to actually graduate from a career in doing just basic things, then you need courage at some point. You need the courage to actually decide that you already have the right answer, but you need to actually utilize the courage to align that value. You need to realize that this is a problem that is not solvable by thinking about a new plan or creating a new tool, by diverting your focus and procrastinating that particular problem. This is a problem that's solved by making difficult choices. Do you actually have what it takes to make these particular choices? And that's that. Okay, hopefully that's clear now. So once again, the only core value that we should focus on this particular month is being the hero. And what I mean by being the hero is not when somebody else does your particular job when you are not here on a day that you have to go do something else. That's not being the hero. Being the hero means that at certain times you need to apply courage to do something that is unpopular, unintuitive, but will ultimately solve the problem. And you need to be able to know that it is your time to actually do it. Without courage, once again, no matter what we do as a company, we get stuck. And as a result of getting stuck, nobody's career moves, anything moves. Not our guests, not our partners, not anybody here. Okay, so to reiterate, this is the goal. We're looking for a revenue target of $3 million, an overall rating of 4.8, 5-star percentage of 80% by the end of the semester. We're going to pay 5x bonuses to individuals for reaching the sales target. That will be measured from April 1st all the way to September 30th, and we will be paying out on October 5th. As a result, if we do reach the revenue goal and 2 hospitality goals, we'll issue 5x individual bonuses. If we reach 1 revenue goal and 1 hospitality goal, we'll pay 3x individual bonuses. The revenue goal is not achieved, then there will be no bonus. And that is it. Okay. Little provisos again. These are standard down bonuses that calculate on the weighted average of individual monthly bonuses, and caps and boost will apply to under and overachievement months, and they will carry weight on the semester bonus. Now, interns who are qualified receive up to a $5 million appreciation bonus. This part I'll need to adjust to actually be accurate. One last thing. I haven't mentioned this too many times before because whatever, but it really comes down to this particular purpose. If you're not sure why you're here, if this is still confusing, if you need to win an argument with somebody who is leading, it all just comes down to this. Ask yourself if your work is inspiring delight. Are you actually innovating in hospitality? And are you actually transforming guests, partners, and people around you? If that isn't happening, then it's most likely that the work you're doing is not contributing strategically, not contributing to the vision, not contributing to the mission. If you are doing this, most likely you are doing good work. They should be rewarded and should be recognized. Okay, that's it. Let me hand it over to the next person. I think it will be...
It should be Matthew as the moderator today.
All right, Matthew, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jin. So yeah, guys, let's keep up on raising the conversion rate and optimizing the AI performance, yeah, to support the operation. And for the next one, we will have hospitality and revenue target by Kak Della. The floor is yours, Kak.
All right, thank you, Matthew and Mr. Jing as well for keeping everyone updated. And wait a minute, let me share my screen here. All right. Yep. So I'm going to review the semester performance right here. And let's move on. And let me remind you again with the semester target and the revenue target that we're going to achieve, which is $3 million USD, and the hospitality target of 80% 5-star ratings and 4.8 for the overall rating. And let's see how it's going for the hospitality target achievement this week. Okay, as Mr. Jing previously already mentioned that the hospitality is declining. And yes, it's shown here by the accuracy. You can see the last week accuracy is at 84.2%. This week we are at 83.5%, which is 0.7 decrease. And the next one is for the check-in. Check-in last week is at 86.5, and now it's 86.2%. It's again decreasing 0.3%. On the other hand, cleanliness as well as the previous two metrics, it's decreasing 0.3%. Last week we are at 80.8%, and this week we are at 80.5%. Next metrics is communication. Communication is also decreasing by 0.7%. Last week we're at 84.6. Now we're at 83.9%. And location, as well as the previous metrics, it's decreasing 0.3%. Last week we're at 73.3%. And the current progress, we're at 73%. And for the value is also decreasing 0.7%. Right now we're at 79.4%. From previous week, it's 80.1%. Okay, so this is the recaps for the semester targets that we're targeting. The current progress for 5-star percentage is 81%. It's already plus 1% for the 5-star ratings, but we're right now still minus 0.09% for the overall ratings, because the current progress is at 4.71, which we're aiming for 4.8 for the overall rating. Now, let's take a look at what caused the hospitality metrics going down for all of the metrics, yeah? So we have detected some bad reviews as well. Let me show you some here. So this is for Kencana Homestay from Gulnara. She mentioned that is several things here, which is the price that is actually affected the value. She gave 1%, not 1%, 1-star review for the value, because the price is smell dumped and mold all over her clothes. And yeah, so she also mentioned about the internet speak, and don't think that she'll be back on the properties as well. This is actually also reflected to the notice that are already sent, because this month for Kencana Homestay, we already surpasses last month's unsold nights as well. So pay attention for this one. And then the other one is also coming from our full board property. The hot water is failing and the place was dirty. This is also reflected to the GS inspection by Bliketut. So we already know this. And I hope that the Rampage House is also included on our weekly focus as well, so that we can transform this and get rid of the problems of the water and also the cleanliness of the properties as well. And with the mention of 2-star reviews right here, we also need to detect some accuracy from the other guests as well, that is actually giving us the 4-star reviews. But you can also detect the small problems right here that you can fix before we got to 2-star reviews, yeah. Overall it's nice, but she expecting like much more than what we describe on our listing. So I think this is also need to be paid attention, so that we put the right things on our listing regarding the locations as well, so it's not a miss expectation for the guests as well. So this is for Sekar Penida honeymoon room, and you can take a look at that as well. And the other thing that we should also notice is that about the accuracy. Another thing from Pondok Nini Joglo, it's from Zaidan. It's already, we already know that Pondok Nini Joglo has also construction. We mentioned that on the listing, because the construction is right behind the property. So that's why Zaidan also mentioned about the photos, and the actual place looks kind of different. So that's why the location and the value and overall the accuracies as well is not really good, and resulting in 2-star reviews for Pondok Nini Joglos as well. And you need to pay attention for the other Pondok Nini units as well, because they're in the same locations. Yeah. And again, from the Rampage House, this review is also mentioning about the pool is small and the stairs is extremely slippery. So this has also affected the value of the properties as well. So in a conclusion, for all this bad reviews, it's coming both from our full board and also non-full board. So I hope that all of the bad reviews right here is got into the focus for this week as well, so that we can transform this and get the result on next week's on the hospitality metrics. All right, next is for the revenue target achievements. Take a look on that. The current progress, we're at 2,003,000 38,000 USD, which we're aiming at 3 million USD. Revenue left to achieve is 961,000, which is 32% left from the target, and we still have 90 days left to achieve the target. So let's work together and pay attention closely with the current revenue achievement as well as the hospitality metrics. Right. So that is it for the update. I give the floor back to Matthew.
Hi, thank you so much, Kak Dela, for the report. And yes, guys, let's keep maintaining the good points and improving the less good one. Yeah. Next, let me see. We're gonna move to weekly mission inspirational. Started from Kak Nadia. The floor is yours, Kak.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So this actually from the marketing, we're trying out new content to highlight a property using FPV drone video. So yeah, in the marketing now, we're trying out a new way to produce content. So this time, we're using FPV drone, and we contacted some professional FPV pilot to help highlight the experience of the property. And this time we use a Haptala Villa. So please check and kindly give your support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Nadia. So for next, I will jump into the inspiring the hospitality industry through technological innovation started from Kak Vito. The floor is
Okay.
yours, Kak.
Thank you, Matthew. The first innovation is sky usage. We have separate agent usage for OpenAI costs, so our users aware of how much does it cost to fulfill their request monthly. Starting from June 30th until yesterday, the hosting already used $164.53 with average $13.71 daily, and for the reservation almost $39 with average through $3.21. For CMNB Go, already used $82.68 with average $6.89 daily. For Athena, only used 54 cents, Apollo almost $3, and Echo about $3.79. So please use the tool that we have created. If you don't need the tools anymore, let us know. We can improve it so you can use it, or we can shut it down to reduce costs. So I will jump to the next one, Gaia enhancement. We have released an update to make it more convenient for the ops team to check show full conversation. Show full conversation is now fetch the latest message from partners or guests, and it will always up to date. For now, the limitation only for hosting or reservation. Sometimes it won't fetch the latest message due to base24 API rate limit, but you only need to wait several minutes and it will work again. I think that's it from me, Matthew. Thank you.
Yoi, thank you, Kak Vito. Next, we gonna move to company dump target and achievements. Kak Dela again. The floor is yours, Kak.
All right, thank you, Matthew. So this is a reminder of our June target, and let's take a look at the revenue target, 5-star percentage, and overall rating progressing so far. So for the revenue target, we have the OK target for 450,000, and the awesome target is for 500,000 USD. And current achievement, we're currently at 413,000 USD, which is 91.7% progressing from the OK target. And for the 5-star percentage and overall rating, because this week we're going down, which I already mentioned before. Last week we already achieved the 5-star percentage, and this week we're currently progressing for 98% for the 5-star percentage, because currently the achievement is at 80.6%, which we're aiming at 82%. And the overall rating is right now the OK target is 4.75, and the awesome target is at 4.78, which we're currently at 4.69. Yeah, it's about 2% more to go, and let's take a look at what are our opportunities. So currently we managed to have 65% occupancy, which is 9% increase from last week, and we still have 15% expired dates, 3% maintenance, and 3% owner usage for June so far. And we still have 14% nights available to sell to achieve the OK target. So let's focus on this. And you can take a look at the data that we attach here. And if you have any questions regarding the opportunities and how you can help, you can kindly approach the strategic leader as well as Bella in this case for the revenue management as well. Yep. So that's it for the company theme target and achievement for me. We can move on to the next, Matthew.
Thank you so much for the explanation, Kak Dela. Next, we're gonna move to promotion and new employees. Cik Shalin, the floor is yours, Cik.
Okay, thank you, Matthew, and good morning, everyone. So a little bit of good news, yeah, for today. Okay, so the first one is actually goes to Della. So I believe everyone here noticed that Della has been actually delivering the updates on behalf of Kayla since last week. So we are here we proudly announced that Della is promoted as our assistant manager in operations. So that's why you'll see her a lot more in the AUM side, in the operations side, as well as basically the partnership side. So that one for Della, semangat ya. And then another one is actually to bring back our first intern. So I believe almost everyone here still remembers Wendy, right? So hopefully you still remember him. Okay, so Wendy here just recently got back as of yesterday actually, and like we previously like talked as well with VD and with Bayu on his like career progression here in the company, and that's how we get him back. Yeah. So Wendy has just started as our front-end developer trainee, and we are looking forward to what he can excel on in the next couple of months. So that's all for the announcement. Thank you, guys, and back to Matthew.
Thank you, Ci, and congrats for both Kak Dela and Kak Wendy. Next, we're gonna move to core value recognition session. Yeah, started from Kak Rifki.
Yeah, okay. So I want to recognize Kak PD to be the hero. Because well, not many people know about this, but one of the foundational library, NumPy, that is used by our system is having a major update and tiers up any libraries on top of it, including our ChromaDB knowledge databases. Kak PD single-handedly solved this issue after everyone is offline, and it is an excellent practice of be the hero. Back to you, Matthew.
Sounds cool. Thank you, Kak Rifki. Next, move on to Kak Vito, who nominates Kak Ali and Kak Rifki.
Thank you, Matthew. So the core value are help others to help themselves and stop on toes. AI sync up are getting more interesting every week. We always spot an opportunity by sharing ideas and sharing our previous mistakes when developing the AI agents. By sharing our mistakes, we help each other to avoid the same mistakes. And yeah, if you are guys interested to attend this meeting, we conduct this meeting weekly on Monday at 2 p.m. With that. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you to Kak Vito. Next, we move to Kak Nadia.
Oh yeah, this is to Conan for Never Settle. So yeah, I think everyone remember that last time I announced that we just implement new tool on our website, the AI copilot agent. Conan has been working like hard to continuously improving and training the AI by optimizing the data source. Even though it's actually still far from perfect, but kudos for never stop on improving the tool.
Okay, thank you, Kak Nadia. Thank you, Conan, for the hard work too. And next, we move to Kak Furkon.
Okay. So thank you very much, Matthew. So I would like to recognize Mr. Jing and also Kayla for helping others to help themselves, because both of them actually referred to me many inspirational speakers, the one coming from Megaman founder Opa Yuri, and then UC Berkeley communities in the past month. And additionally, we have also shown that is coming from Agent A Ops today. that is actually like referred by Mr. Jing or invited by Mr. Jing directly to be precise. So thank you for both of you.
Oh,
Okay.
kalian Kak?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. So yesterday, I would like to recognize Kak Sarah for being also help others to help themselves because yesterday Kak Sarah was the first time organizing the trial candidate in operations and to make sure every candidate got the right explanation from the supervisor. So Kak Sarah, your caring is truly appreciated. Thank you. By the way, just a heads up, everyone. Probably we would like to extend these all hands at maximum 10 minutes. After core value calculations, we directly have an announcement to be said. So yeah, just to let you know. Thank you. Matthew, back to you.
Thank you, Kak Pur. Next, we have Kak Pandu who recognized Kak Chris. But I think, if I remember correctly, Kak Pandu didn't attend this meet. So I'm gonna read this for him. Chris's dedication to pushing boundaries and constantly enhancing our AI capabilities reflects our never settle mentality. He always pushes himself and others further, which has encouraged an atmosphere of innovation and excellence. Besides, Krishna's way of mentoring is not limited just to teaching technical skills, but also to encourage other people in solving their problems by themselves. Under his guidance, I have grown in terms of understanding AI and prompt debugging skill beyond measure. His influence on the team development as well as embracing Bukit Vista's mission has proven that he is a worthy person for appreciation. I do think that his contributions should be recognized in order to motivate us all towards doing the best we can and cooperating with another one. That's from Kak Pandu. And next we move to Kak Nadia. Oh, thank you, Kak.
Okay, yeah, this actually to Matthew, yeah, for inspiring delight and help others to help themselves. So yeah, Matthew actually doesn't really hesitate to share his opinions during brainstorming session, and he always come up with a lot of ideas and insight. And even when giving like consistent feedbacks to others on the URC quota, like it might sound simple, but not many can be consistent. It's Matthew. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Kak Nadia. And next, okay, I would like to recognize Kak Chris. Yesterday, Kak Chris really being a big help for me during my BBW on RSP. When I'm confused to find best solution for the trial candidate, I asked him and he helped me, even though he also supervising another trial candidate on hosting site. This happened several times, yeah. Yesterday, I asked you several times, Kak. And it's also special since my first and last BBW as an intern are with him. Thank you, Pu.
Okay, no, I think it's me, Matthew. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Matthew. So Matthew just hinted something interesting there. Okay, but now I would like to recognize these four people. The first one is Vidya, the second one is Krishna, the third one is Kavito, and the last one is Kavidi for being the hero. Why? Because they have done a good job mentoring our Bangkit capstone students who work actually on the projects that we have set for this past month. The session is not only giving the students some learning opportunities with the cases that we have, but we also spot some potential talents that we can recruit. And once again, thank you very much for the hard work, everyone. Next, back to you, Matt. Oh, me again. Okay, so yeah, I would like to recognize Konang because yesterday Konang told me for inspiring that also step on toes because Konang told me yesterday that we have an unpleasant mobile view on the job page because we have a carousel article attached on each of job page, and he teach me on how to mitigate this issue. But what I appreciate the most is Konang told me on this very exact precise timing before we have many of MSEB7 batch candidates coming in. So thank you very much, Konang. And if you would like to see the difference, you can check the images there. Thank you. Matthew, back to you.
Thank you, Kak Pur. Yes, I believe Konang's work never disappoint, yeah. Next, we move to Kak Sarah.
Okay, with this chance, I would like to recognize Matthew for expressing stepping on toes. So yesterday, while educating both trial candidates, they were hosting sub supervisor and reservation sub supervisor, but even though he's specifically reservation supervisor in the shift management, he managed to educate both of them at the same time. So and giving the explanation, his explanation is very concise and it shows that he's a very good mentor too. Back to you, Matthew.
Yes, thank you, Kak Sarah. Thank you for give me a chance to yesterday. Next, we back to Kak Furkon again.
I believe this is the last core value recognition for this week, yeah. So I would like to recognize Kak Shalin and also Kak Bayu for never settling, because Wendy is back in town as the front-end developer, and that's a very good effort of retention made by Kak Bayu and also Kak Shalin. So welcome also aboard, Wendy. Welcome back. Okay, Matthew, the session is up with you.
All right, thank you, Kak Furkon. Next, we jump to the announcement. Kak Krishna, the floor is yours, Kak.
Okay. Thank you, Matthew. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys have a nice day, as nice as my day. So thank you for giving this floor to me. It was truly an honor to me, and I appreciate the time very much. Before that, I know most of you currently must be thinking, why should I am the one who deliver this news? Because you might be thinking that I'm not her actual manager in operation and I'm not the HR representative. But yes, you guessed it correctly. Obviously, it's because I'm her AI supervisor. So I need to be responsible for this entire situation. So based on my scope of work, I would like to say that Cynthia doesn't pass the trial for BV 6.0, which is not AI ready. We have built Tinker and active for 3 weeks, and apparently Cynthia cannot adopt and use it correctly. It is not because of lack of time, lack of training. It's not all of that. It's obviously because Cynthia incapability of adopting the tools and my incapability to manage the people. So yeah, sorry for everyone. That's all from me. Back to moderator.
Well, yeah, that's a sad one for sure, sih. Since for me personally, Kak Cynthia is the one who helped me a lot, yeah. But hopefully she get best future lah pokoknya. Oh yeah, one more thing. I would like to gentle reminder, please.
Matthew, I think Kayla raised her hand.
Okay, Kak Kai, monggo Kak.
Okay, thank you, Madhu. This is actually an addition point of Krishna's announcement, because he should be on the technical side. Regarding Cynthia offboarded, I must acknowledge that there is a shortfall in these decisions. While Cynthia has been a valuable and permanent member actually of our team in operational, everyone must know that already. This decision actually aligns with our strategic objective aim to support basically the company's growth. Personally, I acknowledge a shortfall in the strategic directions on my part as her supervisor also in a couple of months before. So over the past few months, Cynthia has excelled in executing case management, but in June, this is aligned to what Krishna has mentioned before. When we initiated a trial to encode this knowledge directly, this led us to realize basically that the role of the executor itself has evolved, and it became really clear that Cynthia needed to develop further capabilities to meet the new demands of this role. I regret basically not recognizing these shifts sooner and also not providing adequate guidance to basically help her transition this effectively. But I best believe this already on the HR pipeline to be offboarded respectfully, because this is not entirely on her side, but also on a supervisory mistake. And I wish her the best, actually. That's on my part.
Yep, correct. Okay, so from my side, as the president of operationals, I believe my team's mistake is my mistakes. So it is such a hard decision that we haven't trying to seek before since November, I believe, that we need to push on the knowledge management side, regardless no availability of the case manager automations. So I hope everyone understand that this decision is to be taken, and we need to be transparent about this decision. And I hope after this, we will make a decision that will be will make the best situation for everyone, ensuring a future improvement and capability of everyone's skills in this company. Thank for everyone to Kailas and Krishna. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, let me go next. So ultimately, a particular failure of any particular person here is my failure as a CEO. So what I like to say is this. I appreciate the hard work that the engineering team has done. I see that many engineers have had their careers stalled and not able to advance for months. So I'm somewhat confused oftentimes. I'm confused why there's no promotions, confused why there's no bonus, but it seems like there's a lot of products being shipped. There's a lot of things actually being delivered. So I thought that there probably was something actually not going on correctly. And I avoided looking at this issue in detail. And what's happened, I think, is that engineers have been blamed oftentimes for the shortfallings of other people in the team. So that part is my apology to everybody who's been working on engineering and doing a good job to actually advance the interest of the company in innovation. I'm sorry because perhaps some of your work was unnoticed. Perhaps some of your work was not really particularly integrated correctly. And we avoided actually holding people accountable for doing that particular type of work, okay? So I'll take a deeper look in engineering work over the next few weeks to see if there's any unsung heroes that should have been recognized for what they have actually built. I also apologize for this, but I want to also make something clear. The reason I called forward the apology to the company between Krishna, Carla, and Marcel is, as a CEO, should not micromanage. I shouldn't have to look all the way down into the different layers of what's happening in this company and find out, oh, okay, there's something on this team that isn't actually performing, and that's causing essentially a strategic issue overall. I'd much rather say, all right, I don't micromanage, but if you did actually supervise somebody, and that person tended to be a particular bottleneck for the overall company, and everyone doesn't understand why their careers is not progressing, doesn't understand why we're not reaching the goals, I prefer that the supervisors take responsibility for that publicly. Okay, so it's clear who actually should be in charge. That being said, for everybody here, I think this situation could have been avoided on a few ways. Number one, please pay attention to your employee journals. When your supervisors are writing you feedback about what you should focus on, please take that as serious. Don't just say, okay, I'll work on it. Thank you very much for the feedback, and ignore it. And respond with a short, okay, I'll improve, but make no serious attempt to improve. I think eventually that catches up with everybody. Eventually we'll realize, well, since you haven't improved and this is necessary, why are we keep on sharing feedback that you're not listening to? So please avoid that. If you see feedback in your journals and you don't understand it, just say, I don't understand this. I want to work on this. And there's always space here at Bukit Vista for somebody who wants to improve. But by waving it away and saying, oh yeah, I'll improve, but not seriously take any efforts to improve, eventually we'll find out, and eventually we'll have to make a tough decision whether you belong here or not. So that's number one. Keep that in mind. Number two, when I say here in the company, everybody is accountable for actually contributing to a strategic goal, I hope people are listening. I hope you're not just kind of wandering off, answering an inquiry, doing something else, because it does mean that that's the point where you should say, I probably am not contributing. What can I do? Okay. Identify that, be transparent. We always have a way of fixing people at that point. But ignoring it, sort of pretending everything's okay, that often results in a big strategic audit. And in that audit, we'll find out something that maybe is not in your favor. Okay. And then we'll ask you the question, why didn't you bring this up earlier? That's number two. Number three, as a leader, do realize this. Everybody here is hired at a particular skill set. We do expect that your skill sets improve and evolve over time. But as a leader, you should actually think about what you are doing to train and to develop the skill sets of your team. Are you having workshops? Are you holding critical feedback sessions? Are you giving things to help people learn skills that they need to learn? This company will keep on evolving. That part is constant. Whether or not anybody can essentially keep up with the growth really depends on a few things. It depends on, one, does everybody here have a growth mindset? And two, are they given opportunities to actually pursue a growth mindset? Okay. I don't wish for this to happen anymore because it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it has to come to this particular moment. It's also unfortunate that it took so long, almost 8 months, for us to figure out that this was an underlying problem. So everybody here is here because they want to be here, I hope. Everybody's here because they have a bias to action, a growth mindset, and they can learn things on their own. Okay, so let's not have these moments anymore. Let's use this as a moment to learn. Let's learn our values. Let's learn essentially what we can do. But as a leader, also learn the responsibility of what it takes to lead. Essentially, you're in charge for the positive transformation of your team, and do you have what it takes to actually do it? And the earlier you act, the more likely that your team can evolve and thrive over time. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. Back to you, Matthew.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jing, Kak Marcel, and Kak Kai for the addition. Yeah, I still hope the best for Kak Jin. And yeah, let's do our best to give our best performance in daily working, yeah, guys. Yeah. Okay. So kindly reminder, for the ones who still not filling up the personal updates, please kindly fill it after this meet, yeah. And maybe from Kak Furkon, is there anything you want to?
Oh, no. All good. You may close it, Matthew.
All right then. Okay, so that's all for today's All Hands. Thank you so much, guys, for attending, and we'll see you on the next All Hands. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
All hands.
Kenapa lu ketawa-ketawa?
Kenapa ketawa?